Hello and welcome back to Euro Truck Simulator 2 Part 28. Rate great mate, 8 out of 8, I'm feeling 28. So today we are streaming again because I am pressed on time, seriously, I have no time. This is probably going to be about 20 minutes long, roughly, and yes, so, boys, tomorrow there's going to be no videos. Oh, why? Because I'm out all day. Oh, why am I out all day? You know why. Because I'm off to the theme parks, and yeah. I will be right outside all day, so I won't have time to do anything. The only way I could get around it was if I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and although I enjoy making videos, I don't enjoy making them that much. I really don't. So, we'll do a little job. We'll do that one. Yeah, we'll do that one. It's good pay. Short distance. Should be good. Now, come on, let's do a 17-point turn. Cab on this side, but hey, if that's what I picked, that's what I picked. So, yes, so today is the day that my family comes to visit, as in, they arrive in my town today, and I'll be seeing them today, tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day, and the next day probably. So, you know, videos are going to be few and far between. I love that term. However, yesterday, I managed to, if you watch the stream you'll know what I'm on about, I managed to get all my Thomas the Tank Engine pictures lined up. Oh yes, now we're talking, boys. So that video should be pretty easy to complete. All I have to do now is edit it together, and that's it. And render it, obviously. But the heavy lifting's done now. I did it all in one session. I just went on Garry's Mod and went mental. Yeah. So that should be coming out in a couple of days. Maybe even a day. I don't know, it depends. Well, no, obviously not a day, because I haven't got tomorrow, have I? Oh, I'm looking forward to tomorrow, though. It's been quite a while since I've been to Flamingo Land. It was September I last went, which was a while ago. Yeah. I'll be setting off nice and early. About 9:30. Get there for about 10:15. They open at 10, but the rides don't start till past, so you get there at 15:15, gives you time to have a nice piss, and yeah. Oh god, we're off into a quarry. Printed my vouchers out today, that was fun. Carsten will message me. For fuck's sake. Oh wow! I'm just gonna ignore that and tell him in 5 minutes. Mate, I'll ring you in 16 minutes. That is making a video. See, Dreamo server, I found one. Oh, for God's sake, what has he gotten himself into? We can make meth again. Meth. I'll message you when I'm done. Wink. No, that's not a wink. That's a wink. Right, sorry about that. People are very inconsiderate around me. I don't know why they are, but because I'm very inconsiderate to them. You gotta love that his idea of very important is finding a Garry's Mod server. Me and Jaden spent hours here. Oh god, Jaden! Oh, he's Jaden Smith, I tell you. Right, less about them, more about me. What was I saying? Bastard made me lose my train of thought. Yeah, engines. Basically, I'm stoked to go, but oh, it is bloody exhausting. Well, anyone who's been to them know that when you come back from a place like that, you're absolutely dead, aren't you? You can't walk. You've had like one drink all day. You've been on a million rides. It's been hot. It's not been very nice, but it's been fun. But you feel a bit sick. And yeah, I've never threw up from a ride. Have you? Have you ever vomited from going on a ride? You know, it's like straight up. No, I haven't. I've been very close to it. Very close to it once. Because when I was, how old was I? About 12 or 13 probably. I went on some waltzers. If you don't know what a waltzer is, it's like a very, very extreme version of teacup rides. And I went on it with my dad. And we were in the same, like, cart, or whatever they're called. And, well, I've always been a rather fat gentleman. And my dad at the time was even fatter than me. Like, obviously he was because he was older, but I mean, in comparison he was still a lot fatter than me. He must have weighed about 20 stone at the time. And with that extra weight in the cart, it made it spin so ferociously that it was unbelievable. Like, I was probably experiencing about a million G-forces, honestly. It wasn't very pleasant. And I was very close to vomiting, but I didn't because I have a gut of steel. But, well, I don't have a gut of steel. Well, I do, in terms of vomiting, but when it comes to poo, let's just not talk about that. I have a gut of steel and a bowel of wet tissue paper. But, it wasn't very pleasant, to be honest, and I've never gone on waltzers ever since. It really did ruin the experience for me. The other ride I've ever had bad experiences with was, well, last time when it was Velocity, because the brakes slammed on instead of going on gradually, and that made my stomach acid go into my mouth. And the other one was one called Cliffhanger, which is the launch free fall. I went all the way up and all the way down, but at the apex of the jump, my leg swung over and it knackered up my hip, sort of. It didn't break it or anything, obviously, I'm not that bloody brittle, but it seriously banged the muscle, so I walked off limping. But you know, that's not that bad, is it? Most people have way worse experiences with rides. Like, my dad once took me to the fair, he went on the teacups ride and he was spewing behind it because he's an absolute wimp. Whoa! But yeah, I've never had any real negative experiences on them, which is good, which is why I like them. However, last year when I went to the fair, I did have a semi-negative experience. I went on, I can't think of its name, it's like this roller coaster type thing, and I was not even queuing, but I was just sat waiting on the ride for about 15 or 20 minutes. It hadn't even broke down, it's just people, they were just waiting, you know, for more people to come on, and no one was coming on. And of course, the ride operator didn't want to send it round and waste God knows how much petrol and only get about £2, you know. Because rides are not cheap to run. Like, I'm sure you know that, but especially very heavy ones like this was, it must have weighed about 20 ton. Honest to God, it was huge. And to power all the carts around it must have cost about 50 quid a minute or something in petrol, I'm telling you. There was a huge engine on it, massive. And it had like loads of special effects on it, it's cool. I like fairs. I always wanted a fairground ride growing up, and I still do. it's just they're so expensive. Like, if you get one, it's fine because, you know, you can make your money back tenfold. But it's getting all the other stuff which goes with it, you know, like getting in Showman's Guild and all that crap. Fighting off all the other Jippos and all that. You have to make yourself king of the gypsies if you want to be a successful fairground man, apparently. I'm sure I could do that, but I don't really want to. Yeah. One thing I will never get about theme parks is why do they serve so much weird food? Like, there's the argument, oh, it's to cater to everyone's needs. Yeah, but who in their right mind, no matter if you're not going on rides or anything, goes to a theme park for an all-you-can-eat Chinese? No, you don't, do you? You don't. Like, when you go to a theme park, no matter who you are, where you're from, what you're planning to do, if your nationality or anything, right? You're going to be walking, no matter what. Even if you're in a wheelchair or a mobility scooter, you're still going to be doing a lot of travelling. And if you're travelling a lot, the last thing you want to do is have an all-you-can-eat meal, isn't it? Because everyone in the world who has an all-you-can-eat meal takes it as a challenge, don't they? You know? It's like, oh, 10 quid, ah, fucking hell, fill your boots. And it's stupid. I can understand how they've got like semi-light dishes, like a slice of pizza or chips on their own and stuff. But when it's huge meals that you would, you know, the sort of meal that you'd left stuffed, going, oh, afterwards, that sort of, like, why do they serve that? If I opened up a theme park, all I would sell would be bottled water, tea, coffee, and sandwiches. And, like, wraps. And other light goods, you know, like, snacks, basically, because that's what you want when you're travelling. You know, if you're walking around all day, you want small bursts of energy, not one huge lump of it, you know. That way you can remain light on your feet, you know, and still function because you're getting like several doses of energy instead of one large dose. Immo. You know, like, I guess that's just the way I look at things. Little and often is better than one big one if you do it or not. That's all I'm saying. So pack it in if you, yeah, if you're a theme park owner, pack it in. Yeah, I'm sure you're watching. Yeah, it's weird. So, fruit. Isn't that weird? It's not, is it really? What's your favourite fruit? Mine's tangerines, or nectarines, or satsumas, or any little oranges, you know, tiny oranges. They're lovely, I love them. All day, every day. Second favourites, like in terms of ones that I can get access to because they're cheap, it's probably banana. There are better ones out there, better fruits than oranges and bananas, but they're just, I don't get them because they're expensive, they go off too quickly, and all stuff like that. You know, like berries. Oh, berries are lovely, but I'm not paying £4 or £5 for a few of them, mate. You know, if I want... Oh, grapes are good, actually, they're cheap. I forgot about grapes. But, one of my least favourite fruits that I will eat is apples. Ugh, I hate apples. But I'll still have them. It's not like at the like when they get to pomegranate level where they're just like, you know, cannot be doing with weird fruit. Can you? Like, the most exotic I will go is like maybe a mango or a pineapple, but even then, he's pushing it, really pushing it, you know. As a very English person, my body cannot handle flavour, to be honest. Anything with flavour in it, I'm ill. It's and there's a reason behind it. It's because we as a nation are very bland people. We are tepid, you know, when it comes to food and politics and everything. You know, we're just a very, some would say straightforward, some would say weak. You know, like, the only thing we do well in terms of food is sweets. That's the real reason why we all have yellow teeth. It's not even because of the smoking. It's because, you know, wagon wheels, penguins, Kit Kats, freaking, you know, that's just biscuits. Freaking trifles, mate. Why do you think we're one of the fattest nations in the world? Because we know how to do sweets. But we don't really know how to do savoury. Apart from bacon, we do bacon right. Yeah, screw you other nations with your stupid crispy bacon. I like my bacon to be soft. I don't like those little lines of bacon you do. God. It's so freaking thin you can snort them. You know, I like proper chops, mate. Imagine if someone snorted bacon. That would be incredible. It wouldn't be hard to do, would it, with like American bacon? Because it's so burnt, obviously. You could just get like the back of a screwdriver or something and just pummel it into a paste. Or you could use a pestle and a mortar if you're really posh. Like not a paste, a powder. And you could like, get the fine powder, put it in a line and just send it up the nose. I wonder what effect that would have. Would it just... would that feed you? Would that give you sustenance if you snorted food? Is that how bodies work? I don't understand. I have a feeling we're not going to get to the end of the destination by the end of the episode. Oh, my nose is running again. Lovely. What else? There was something else I was going to say, but I forgot. My tablet is in, you know, device. It is knackered, and I don't know what to do because apparently Amazon's getting a really big sale soon, and I don't have to wait till then, or just, you know, get a new one. Just tablets are useful as out, you know, like just for watching films and that. If you know what's up with it, it's the USB port. It's just conks out, doesn't take charge no more. Takes data fine. Guessing just one of the contacts on it are just fucked. And also the actual port, you know, the metal bit, that's damaged. It's all out of shape. I've tried fixing it with pliers, you know, bending it this way, bending it that way. Nah, it's not having it. I could replace the part for as little as £1.48. However, the soldering on it is so small that no human could possibly do it without having ludicrous hand-eye control. I'm talking beyond professional, beyond gifted, like seriously, just incredible. I don't know how people are meant to do it. Even if you had 1,000 times zoom, magnifying glass, and I don't know, some really fancy soldering iron, you still couldn't do it. You'd have to use a machine to do it. You just have to. There's no way a human hand could be that steady. Like, honestly. I'm not talking it's like brain surgery steady, nowhere near. It is way more sensitive than that, you know. Brains are big old things, you know. This thing, like, the contacts on them are literally the same size as like a very, very, very fine grain of salt or a grain of sand or, you know, something very precise, and I could not do that. But for some reason, they've sold over 300 freaking ones of them. Freaking, like, ports. So, there's not a single guide on the internet anywhere saying how you do it. So I'm just assuming these people who are buying them have these amazing machines that can, like, solder at this level. I don't know if there's such a device, but I'd like one. I'd love a soldering machine if they exist. Because I really can't solder. Or solder, if you're American. How come the L disappears if you're American? Like, I get different pronunciations, but I don't get it to that extent, you know? Like, some American words also have the same effect. Like T's become D's, and it's not a. It's not. I'm not having a go. It's just. I can understand the T's and D's because everyone has a lazy tongue. We don't work well. Well, most of England doesn't work well with the letter H, as especially me. It becomes H, you know, instead of H. Help becomes elp. Happy, appy. Hunt, you know. Henry, all that sort of crap. But solder. Solder. Sorry. It's just like, oh, you bitch. I've watched a lot of videos on modding Xbox controllers because I was convincing myself that I was good enough to do one, but I wasn't. And well, no, I wasn't not good enough. I just backed out of it. In every video, it was always some Yankee Doodle Dandy going, "You want to get some solder? Just solder the mod chip to the solder will you please kindly leave me alone? I can't click it off. You like my Skype ringtone? I got it years ago. There's no off button. You loud bastard. Right. What was I saying? Solder. Yeah, so it was like, again, tiny level of, not as tiny, rather large, but still very small. And you'd see the guy in the video just absolutely having a panic attack when he crossed one of the soldering iron bits over, you know, the melty bits, the bits of solder. And yeah, he was like, oh man, I gotta melt this. And I was just like, that's too much effort. I packed it in. And on that lazy bombshell, I'm going to clear off because this guy's annoying me. He's a prick. He's a prick. He's an absolute prick. If you see him anywhere, if you ever bump into him, you lot, just call him a prick. Just go, yeah, prick, mate, you prick. And yeah, he'll be upset, and it'll be a right laugh. So I'll see you. I'll see you next time where we bully someone else. Whoosh, whoosh, what? Where's the off button? Oh.